Hey everyone, and welcome to the premiere of a new mode on Restream tonight. We at the ALTTP Randomizer Daily Race Company are excited to bring you AAD Keysanity, which is already underway with Fear Agent and Vextiver getting a single rupee out of Link's house. Anyway, I'm Drosy. I'm here with my good buddy Specs. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jossie. I am excited for this race. We got two great players. Fear also hasn't played much in a while, so it's cool to also get to watch Fear play. But yeah, AAD, almost all dungeons is a mode that League's premiering, as you mentioned, and we haven't seen this mode a whole lot. It's pretty new, but people have been talking about it in response mostly to Fat Keys, where your GT big was always in GT and your CT small is always in Aga Tower. It's AD keys, but in this situation our GT big is always going to be on PED, which means you have to beat your pendant dungeons to get your big key on PED. And you have to still beat your 7 crystals to get GT access, but you only have to beat Aga Tower. It's
Yeah, if it's required for Dark World Access or Lumberjack.
interesting. Both players do Uncle Star and are going immediately in escape. They both got the 10 bomb pack there, so they're both deciding to just take those bombs, go do Phantom Escape Brother here, which is reasonable. You only need 5 bombs to do this. You 5 extra bombs. And at 80 keys, you're probably doing this at some point eventually. And ride with Uncle's kind of nice. So this makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, that tier 1 tree pull is really nice, and I'm sure it'll come in handy throughout the seed if runners find themselves short on
Ooh,
bombs.
oh, yeah. That wasn't 10 bomb pack. It was the 4 bombs to the shoe pull. You're right. That's super nice.
And the first of 6 pod smalls already. So, yeah, this mode has an interesting history. Like, I first heard of the concept talking with Structural Mike back in the winter. And I think he was combining it with like a boss miser shuffle. Um, but, you know, no one's been really happy about the Castle Tower completion requirement in AD keys. And, there have been various iterations of FAD keys where the CT smalls are vanilla to try to get around it. But this
Yeah.
seemed like a way to truly get around the CT requirement.
Yeah, because AD keys is fun, and you like the fact that you do the 10 main dungeons and you do GT, and you get to clear more of the game. It's about like, being efficient. But Aga Tower often feels a bit annoying because one, beating Aga Tower in itself and beating Aga 1 to many isn't as fun as like the other dungeons in the game. It just feels kind of like a slow RNG process. I mean, you get the same RNG as your opponent, but still, it's not that fun. And then you always are like, where are my CT smalls? They can be anywhere in the game. So this both gets rid of that annoying Aga climb and Aga fight, assuming it's not required for other reasons. And you don't have to hunt down those 2 CT smalls. If you get one of them, then you can go ahead and do both item checks. And so, in a way, in this mode, generally Aga Towers could be more of like an extension of your overworld, kind of like Front of Skull Woods.
Okay, now we see actual divergence here. Fear saved and quit while Vex is death warping, which implies to me he wants to check Dark Cross.
I don't blame Fear. 3 hearts, no great way to navigate Dark Cross. You can do it later, either combine it with Aga Tower or with Back of Escape. You have options. So I'd probably skip it too. But if you feel comfortable doing Dark 3 hearts, Dark Cross, like, by all means, next
Yeah,
check.
does seem like a little bit of a gutsy play on Vex's part because it can go south in a hurry. And once again, taking advantage of those bomb tree pulls for Fear.
Yeah, like with practice, it's actually giving more bombs. Okay, it's actually not that hard to do Dark Cross, except the second Dark Room with all the snakes. That's the hard room. When like you forget about RNG. Did Vex not open it?
He didn't make it. He was at half a heart and decided he'd rather save and quit than endure the death animation.
That makes sense. Yeah, that one room with the snakes is the one that's really annoying because of their movements are RNG dependent, so you can't. You just have to like hope you can damage boost through it. The first and third dark rooms you can practice and get good methods for that aren't too bad, but the second room, the snakes, is it makes 3-heart Dark Cross with no navigation item so hard. And Fear Agent getting an Oli Mirror, so Vex is gonna get that soon. So Oli Mirror in the seed.
Yeah, Vex prioritizing turning in this out-of-logic mushroom. Because remember, Zelda's Cell is not in logic until you have the Sewer Small Key.
Not too unreasonable. Moon Pearl already. Ice Pal Small, nice to have. Not you didn't need it yet. Could have waited, but nice to have.
Helps with navigation. You're not gonna reset.
Yeah, I feel like Vex play with the mushroom. The benefit is like if you get something that combos well with CAC, then it's. What was that?
The other Ice Palace Small sitting in the back of Blind Set.
You're just happy if you get one, but that's super nice. Okay,
Ice Palace would be easy. Will show up, and we'll wonder if there's going to be a very early Ice Palace play.
It could be that kind of seed. Yeah, could be. But I was gonna comment on the mushroom as like, you're gonna turn it in some Oli in the seed. But the argument maybe you wait on it a little bit longer to see if you get like an Oli flute. But the advantage of doing the Oli mushroom check is if you get something that you can like flute, bottle, something that you could combine with CAC, then it's an advantage. So there's an argument either way, obviously.
And that's already 3 pod smalls for Fear. So again, a lot of small keys turning up to a small number of dungeons, which really makes me wonder if we're going to have to dip one or both of those pretty soon.
Yeah, we could be getting Oli Darkwold because we already got Moon Pearl on Fear's side, which Vex is going to get because that was in Blind's Hut. So it might be in, let's see, when you go to Pod or Ice Palace early, or maybe not. Maybe we're just being tricked. But it could be that, yeah. And 3 pod smalls is super nice because with that, assuming you get the other items you need for pod, you can check most of the chests with just 3 smalls. The seed definitely has lots of bombs and good cash, with Fear also getting the 100 from turning the B to Merchant. Not a lot of useful items yet. We've gotten some keys and things, but no big keys. We've just gonna have like a mirror and a pearl. You don't really have anything to like do things with.
Yeah.
No weapon, no glove.
Is Fear blind doing the race game?
Yes. I'll get the key.
Okay, you take it.
It's a risk that you can often pays off in Keysanity, but other times GT small. Okay. It doesn't. It's still probably most people probably still lean towards not blind checking it in Keysanity, but you're more likely to have it pay off in Keysanity.
So now Fear's gonna turn in that mushroom. I wonder, since it'll be his second ice small, will he save scum the mushroom?
Could do that. I wouldn't, but I can totally see other people would. It's not a bad play now that you mention it. Yeah, not a bad play.
Well, we'll see.
Also, I feel like this is the point when most runners would turn on the mushroom after CAC. This is probably the more conventional choice. Not that Vex was wrong; it was totally reasonable.
Yeah, I've seen people do early mushroom plays just because, and Fear is keeping the small key. And both runners sold their good bee to the bottle vendor to get a full refund.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, what else? Well, actually, that bee would help with Moldrum Cave.
Yeah,
you got bombs, but
that's what I was thinking. When you don't have anything but bombs, it's kind of nice to have that bee take out a few mini mold worms.
I agree, and we already have decent money. Like, we already have 0 money even without the 100 from Merchant.
Yeah, that early mirror is nice.
There's the glove.
Yeah.
So
Nice
now
for
we can
block
do,
deletion, so you just do damn once.
and now we can do that. Good point. And now we can do backup escape. No small key yet for Hyrule Castle, which you probably won't get for a while. So, Fury Agent won't be able to combine it in Dark Cross, but you can always do it later with Aga Tower checks, or just never do it. And a bow. That's nice. We can combine that with Pod later whenever we get there, which we're only another glove or hammer away from being able to do. Not that we're gonna rush it, but nice that we have the option. Also interesting to me that Fear is choosing to do Dam Aginas, and then we'll probably go do East Side. Totally reasonable call. You'll see most people in the situation do the opposite, where they might go to the right and then left. Well, I guess no boots. Having a fake flipper after Ice Rod Cave is maybe a little slow. Yeah, not unreasonable. It makes some sense. And nothing in Nagina, it's just 20 rupees.
And we're also either a second glove or a hammer from Dark World access, so... Agena makes sense because if one of those two items happens to be there, then suddenly you have Dark World access and everything opens up.
Yeah, and then 80 keys, you're probably checking it anyway. You don't have to get away with delaying it, but you're probably gonna check it anyway. It's nice to do early in case it's useful. So, it's not like an open mode or something. It may be a total waste of time. You might be able to skip it. Okay, Ether.
Which may be required, though we don't have a sword to use it yet.
AAD means almost all dungeons. It's a bit of a newer mode that's been discussed for a while, and League has just announced they're going to have it as one of the 7 modes. It is 80 keys, so all dungeons 80 keys, except you are not required to beat Aga Tower. The way it works is GT is still unlocked with beating your 7 crystals, but your GT big key is not randomly located. It is on pedestal, so you are required to beat the 3 pendant dungeons in order to get your GT big off of pedestal. So what it means is you can get into GT after beating your 7 crystals, but you can't go use your big key in GT until you've beaten the 3 pendants to get the big key. So it means you may not have to beat Aga Tower in this AD mode because it's not fully all dungeons, but it has the spirit of all dungeons, and it means you don't typically need the CT smalls, and you don't typically need to beat Aga Tower.
And we did just find the book in Mini Moldorm Cave, so that opens up Desert.
And that also
a couple of checks.
Feels bad for Fear and Vex in a moment because they're both choosing to go to the desert area before left, right, which is completely reasonable. But this is the exact risk you take by going to Agina's in Dam. But for Mini Moldum and Ice Red Cave is if you get the book from the right side of South Shore and you only went to desert area, then now you're like, I really don't want to go to desert. I already did that really slow walk. So this is it's a gamble. It was completely reasonable, and this is just the moment of where you got unlucky. So definitely feels bad for both of the players who are probably not too happy about that.
Yeah, it's also the case since we saw Desert Ledge on Vex's side and we know it's junk. Really, the only thing that's in logic that could be useful is Desert Map Chest, because you can scum a key from the back and use it to unlock the right side, but that's not in logic because the game doesn't expect you to scum a key.
Yeah, and Fear here is going to do Saha, and then we'll see if they choose to dive Eastern or not yet. Because you can do Logic Mountain right now. You can dive Eastern. You can go to Desert. You can do fake flipper checks. Zora is in Logic.
And as you remarked earlier, we have not seen any big keys yet, because at this point, if we had an Eastern big key, we could just full clear it.
It is weird that we've seen a lot of small keys, no big keys.
Oh, and Eastern is a vanilla green pendant, because Eastern often seems to be a vanilla green pendant.
That would we got Hammer now. Okay, now we have Dark World access.
Yeah, Sphere 1 Dark World access.
And that makes it save and quit. Like, you could dive Eastern there. It is a pendant, so maybe you don't get that big key for a while, but like now you can go do so much in the Dark World. Like, yeah, it's a little be a little odd to go do Eastern at this point. That also makes the book placement feel less bad for our runners, or at least fear, because now you're like, I can do desert later. I should be able to get away with delaying that.
Yeah, well, he has the mirror, so he's probably hoping he gets the flute in the mitts and can just combo it with a Meyer area play.
Yeah, and then actual like boots or desert big or desert small or a fire source, things that actually let you do more than just a torch check and a map chest grab in desert.
Now, what would be interesting is if he checks Bombo's tablet, because he's not that far away from it.
You could. I would personally just delay it. I'd be like, I'll try to do it with Smith's Chain later. Does Ice Big? Yeah, you're right, Drosy.
As I was saying about, it seems like this. Now, we still don't have the mitts to get to the Ice Palace entrance or Fire Rod or Bombos to get past the first room, but.
And flippers to put Foley in Logic, yeah.
True. But it is kind of sus that we have all the Ice Palace keys in the first 15 minutes or so.
So far, the seed does seem to be saying you're going to be doing an Oli Pod and Oli Ice, potentially in the seed. Pod and Meyer are Pyramid Crystals today. And I can see why Fear would go this way first, versus heading north. Because you get to combine K45 in here with the mirror. And then you can walk up. You can mirror after the game and walk up to, the Boo portal and continue your Dark World. Whereas if you had been east from Hype Cave and then Pyramid, and Catfish, it's a bit slow. You might be able to do this, but do this at another time later on when you can combine like more of Aga Tower and Dark Cross in. So it makes sense to delay those.
We're so close to full pod access as K45 gives us the Cane of Samaria.
That's nice.
But we have the hammer and the bow and 3 pod smalls. At this point, you're probably hoping for another 1 or 2 pod smalls and the pod big, and then you can just do it all in one go.
Yeah, you're right. And then you could route Pyramid in with that trip to pod somehow. And right now we don't have flute, and you wouldn't just float over to 5. You could just go to 4 and then combine Pyramid in or something.
Meanwhile, Vex doing fake flipper checks for us. We did not see these on Fear Agent's side.
It makes sense. You have Zoro money. You're going to do checks most likely at some point, and you have Moon Pearl to let you do the Waterfall Fairy checks. And you have a bow, so you can splash delete Zoro's Ledge.
And Zoro itself is actually in logic with the glove.
Yes.
Take a blue mail.
Yeah, you're not 4 hearts. You already have Mirror for death for getting around dungeons. Definitely take it. And then a TR small for Fear. Yeah, that's a good point by chat. Yeah, we already know Lumberjack is nothing, and we already have Darkwold access without being Aga Tower. So all we really want is 1 CT small. We don't care about the second one, so that we can check the second chest of Castle Tower at some point and just get those items.
Though we still need either the cape or the Master Sword before we can even enter Castle Tower.
Yeah, it'd be a long time before we even see that. We don't even have one of the 2 CT smalls, but we'll probably see it, later on in the seed.
Yay, shield.
I mean, there's a heart piece. Green potion is nice.
That's vanilla.
I have no idea what the vanilla. What's the vanilla option in Pyramid Fairy?
The vanilla option for both is green goo.
Okay, that's cool to know. Did not know that. Okay, no, this is Compass on Zoro's Ledge. No splash delete needed.
Chess game is just another map. We've been getting quite a few maps. And Zora's a ripoff.
So all the fake flipper checks, you got blue mail, essentially all skippable. I mean, at some point, Fear will do, maybe not Hobo for a while, but we'll do the rest, so, and probably Hobo at some point. So those will, eventually Fear will do those.
Now, Thievestown is interesting in Keysanity because the first 4 checks are basically treated like overworld checks.
Yes. Yep. Also, I just realized that Fear did choose to put off Skullwoods for right now, which is reasonable. Like, I can, it's an argument whether you want to check it or not. I personally I would do it, but it is super slow. But it is 5 items you can get right off the bat. And you do have a Skullwood Smallford already, which helps out with the routing a little bit.
Yes, especially considering I've seen Fear get himself locked out in Skullwoods in a Keysanity seed.
Nice. Like if you actually fall in one of the holes or something, it can happen.
Well, we haven't seen the brewery yet, okay.
More money.
Vanilla.
Okay. Oh yeah, vanilla, yeah.
Or at least vanilla if you're not getting the red meringue there.
Oh, I like this. Fear's gonna probably walk up to Skullwoods. Oh, okay. After they activate their flute, maybe they might delay Skullwoods now. But I think the plan for Fear was to ride from Brewery to Seaship House to Skullwoods, which is an interesting play to me. I like that.
Honestly, Death Mountain could be an interesting play now.
Yeah, with that flute, that might change Fear's options completely. Because now he could go to Ice. I don't think he even. He did Ice Red Cave earlier. He just didn't do the for checks. But yeah, you can flute around, go to Mountain with Mirror and Hammer. That's pretty nice. And you can check Ether Tablet while you're there. You got some options. Or go ahead and finish up your Darkwold stuff while you're here.
Right. The only thing is if you go up there, you can't finish Hera because you don't have either the big key to go upstairs the proper way or the hookshot to Harapot. That was Pod, and what was the first one as 5-6?
Meyer, I think. Yes,
Yeah.
Meyer. Also, Fear. Okay, Fear went to this check desert ledge item. I thought they were going to walk in the desert, which I thought was weird. But yeah, they was checking the ledge item, which they hadn't seen yet.
Okay, so Specs, bear with me here, but we've been getting a lot of small keys for Pod and Meyer. It's making me wonder if Pyramid Fairy might have something.
I mean, we still need a big key for both. We still need Mitts to get into Meyer, at minimum.
And a sword to use the medallion.
Oh, and a way to actually cross the front of Meyer, too. We're still a ways away. We still need
right.
Pod big, Meyer big, Mitts, a sword, and hookshot or boots at minimum. And even then, you really don't want to do Meyer. And Pod's not even great because you don't have a fire source to make it not awful. Or fast.
Well, especially if we still don't have a sword to do Pod and, light our way in the dark with its sparkle.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have a sword. Like, it's Pod is so trash right now. But yeah, Mountain here, as you mentioned, like, makes complete sense. Like, this is definitely what you do at this point. The only argument was maybe you go do Skullwoods stuff, maybe even a little bit of North Darkworld. Arguably, I have to see, you probably wait on that. But what Fear's doing is completely reasonable. Like, it makes a lot of sense.
And more small keys both in and on Spec Rock.
Yeah, let's get one of those seats. We just get all the small keys, and then at the very end, we're just on a hunt for like 5 big keys.
It does seem that way. But we're definitely at the point still where if you see a small key, you have to pick it up. Even though that's just our second Skullwood small.
Balthazar, both players, I believe, have already done Maze Race checks, so they already know.
Yeah, it was another small key.
Yeah, it was a GT small, actually, if I remember right.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Two Skullwood small is super nice. That makes your routing Skullwood super easy and fast. The 4th pod small already. One more and you can like really route. You can full clear it when you go there, assuming you have a big key. But that's really nice.
And the book was not for Ether Tablet, that's for sure. You know it would be nasty if Myths are in Desert Palace map chest.
It would be gross if like any major progression is in there right now, and you can't even get to like other desert items because like you don't have a small key for desert, you don't have a big key. Hookshot and Hera. We can Hera pot now. That's
Guess
cool.
we're finishing Hera.
Okay, that's all it does for us at the moment, but it's nice. I mean, we want a hookshot.
I'm surprised Fear shot that switch with the arrow rather than hookshotting it, but okay. And there's our other male. Oh yeah, so the reason I was saying specifically Myths in Desert map chest is because if we find the Myths somewhere else, then we can combo Desert with checking the Mire area because we'll have Mire access.
That's a good point, yeah, because at this point, the players don't want to go in with the book, because there's not much in Desert, you're right. They would much rather mirror into it, it's a faster process. Yeah, you're 100% right. That's what I would be doing too. Desert right now is one of the last things I'm doing, of everything I have available to me.
But yeah, Mountain was definitely a good play with finding that hook.
I like it, and I don't think Vex got anything out of Skull Woods yet. I mean, we've only seen 3 checks out of the 5. I don't think we've seen anything yet. But I mean, what Vex is doing too is completely reasonable. It's probably what I would have done. Although in hindsight, I kind of like Fierce play better. And then that's one of the pendants already. So we don't have to get a big key or small key for Hera. I mean, you might lock other progression items, but you know that's the fact that Hera's a pendant means we may not have to worry about looking for flippers in Skullwoods. Okay.
Yeah, those are kind of necessary. I mean, we don't have a swamp small. But if we had one, we could basically full clear swamp between what both runners have.
Did Vex lose a lot of health in Skullwoods? Because I saw him go for a death rope, and they could have just mirrored. Maybe the health was low?
Yeah, he kept getting bodied, and
okay.
he fell into a pit after he opened the map chest.
That's true. That makes complete sense then. That you want to have it for here just to be safe. It makes complete sense. Not that much slower, and then you don't have to worry about health as you're doing the rest of Dark World. Yeah, the flippers are nice. I mean, we don't have a swamp small yet, but once we get that...
Yeah, nice. I mean... You're not really going to go in for one chest in swamp.
Yeah, you're way better placed than that right now. I'd rather go to desert than swamp right now. Oh yeah, no sword to deal with those enemies, but you have blue mail, so you can just tank the hits. And no sword still is really annoying. Like, yeah, you have hammer, hookshot, bow, but like, you really want a sword. Like, come on, we want a sword. A big key. Oh, and it's the Skullwoods. Well, Fury Agent can combine that while they're doing the final Skullwoods. Vex. Well, Vex can do it easily enough when they go to do the back later, so it's not that big of a deal. But for Fury, it'll be even easier to combine it in. The Mountains had Hookshot and, like, Skullwoods keys, basically, and it had one pod small. So mostly it was a Hookshot. It didn't have a whole lot of else.
Which is still pretty non-trivial. But it really does kind of make you feel like the Myths are going to be our next, like, really big find. They're gating too much.
It's the most likely item, yeah. And Fear's probably, I think, it looks, if I can talk, Fear's going to make the pod play, and then maybe do Eastern afterwards if needed. Reasonable, because what else would you even do at this point? I mean, Fear's continuing to delay Skullwoods, North Darkwold checks, the Desert check, which delaying Desert Swamp check at this point makes complete sense. Why would you go do that? And you only want to go do Pyramid and Catfish. You'll probably try, maybe you'll do them after pod in Eastern. So the argument at this point for Fear is pretty much you either go to pod Eastern specifically Pod first, or you go to Skullwoods into North Dark World. Those are your two main options at this point. But I like this play.
Yeah, I guess we haven't seen Graveyard Ledge, but that's kind of isolated. We don't have Cape or Boots for Bumper Ledge or King's Tomb.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, so it makes complete sense to put it off. You can do it later. It'd be a lot faster and a better option, as you said, when you have Boots and Cape.
So the question is, will Fear go into Eastern before he goes into Pod?
I think that would be crazy.
But because Pod has so many more checks.
And you have 4 smalls, you have the bow, you have the hammer, and you're pretty much, like, in Eastern's is so linear that it's like time erased to have to go double dip it. Was Pod, like, the way it's structured, it's not that big. It's not as bad to have to double dip it in terms of going deep into the dungeon.
Yeah, and 4 smalls put a chunk of the back in Logic.
Yeah, specifically. Well, we don't. Where was that lamp?
Right,
at?
I guess only Compass Chest because Rupee Basement isn't in Logic without a fire source.
Where was Vex's lamp at? I didn't see that.
Oh, I missed it too.
Was that in Skull Woods? I'm trying to think what else Vex has done. Was it Skull Woods?
Yeah,
it was in
Skull.
Okay, that's really nice. Okay. So we do know lamp is available in Logic. Fear doesn't know that. So the Pod Basement, those 2 checks are in Logic technically. Fear doesn't know it, but essentially they are. I mean, Fear's going to do those checks
I'm sure. And of course, the early bow puts this right side in Logic.
I mean, Fear's going to be able to do everything, but 3 checks, can't do big chest, Helma, and we'll have to either isolate Harmless Hellway or big key chest. And could skip more than that if maybe Fear doesn't want to, like, have to do 2 hammer yumps or something, but most people are going to just do 2 hammer yumps. Or just hope they never have to check big chest later on. Oh, okay. Well, Fear's going to know the back of that and mitts.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Pod was seriously the play.
Okay, yeah, that was the play. And then now you can... Well, you still need a sword for Skull Woods, but you're probably going to get one soon. And then you can go... You have... Right, you already have Fire Rod and 2 Skull Woods smalls.
Ice Palace.
And a big for Skull Woods. Yeah, Ice Palace is super great right now. I mean, I think you do Skull Woods first if you have a sword.
Yeah.
Gotta get a sword first.
Well, and in any case, Fear doesn't know that the flippers are sitting in Skull Woods to put Ice Palace in Logic, but Ice Palace is fully in Logic.
Yes. Yeah. So, is that the last bottle already?
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
How did that happen?
over. Yeah, 2 in Paradox, 1 in Packwell, and then 1 in Pod Compass Chest.
Yeah. Wow.
And we actually have good variety options here. I mean, I think now after all of that, small key to thieves before the big key to thieves is nice. So at this point, I don't think you do Eastern or the overworld checks yet that we mentioned in East Dark World. You probably go check Mire area and Desert maybe, at least Mire area. You do Skull Woods, you do Ice Palace. In some order, you do those. You can also go do Dark Mountain now, but you probably don't rush that yet. Well, you don't do Skull Woods yet without a sword, so you're going to delay that for now. So maybe Mire area after this would be my guess from Fear.
Yeah, regarding Dark Mountain, I feel like you kind of hope you get a sword and some more Turtle Rock smalls before you go to Dark Mountain.
Agreed. Yeah, you could do more if you put it off, and you have other good options right now. Oh, and Fear has to do Pod Maze in the dark, no sword, no lamp, using bow strats and some R strats. Nice.
Vex having trouble with the Harapot, but gets it. There's the Red Meringue as one of our 2 Dark Maze items. I don't know if Fear's played a seed since main tournament quals.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough call. I haven't even practiced dark pod maze with like no navigation equipment. It's not a fun one. Easiest thing to do is just pull up a map and then just hope you don't get hit off of where you think you're at while using a map to figure where you're at. Just hope it works out. I mean, the Samara block does help some, of course. And he's mostly using it well.
Yeah, Vex will definitely gain time in here since he'll have the lamp.
Yeah, this will be really fast for Vex.
I don't even see Kodongos shooting fire on the screen. I have no idea where Fear is at this point.
He's stuck in like one of those alcoves that are on the left side of the room. Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he was stuck in some alcove. Maya big, okay.
And the hook shot is now a way to get past the first room, though. Again, we still can't open Meyer without a sword, and we don't even know if Ether's the right medallion.
Yeah, we really want a sword right now. I mean, we always want a sword, but it's making Skullwood's not awesome. Okay, I can see if you want to just go ahead and refill the bottles you have. Because you might, I think Fear knows I might be doing an awful Ice Palace or Meyer soon, or maybe even an awful Skullwoods. Well, not totally awful, but awful. Not optimal. And if you haven't played in a while, like in Fear's case. But specifically because of what Meyer and Ice might be expecting. Oh, so if you're going to go for
Oh, wow.
Ice.
He's doing ice right off the bat here.
That totally explains potions. Yes, you definitely want that if you're going to go do a swordless Ice Palace with no half magic.
Now,
like no bombos.
If he decides to do Hobo before going in, he'll have red mail.
That's
but
true.
He's not doing Hobo before going in. He is doing Waterfall.
Okay. It might be that Fury is hoping to just get some better equipment. They're like, maybe I can get a sword. Maybe I can improve my core options because, like, you have some good dungeon options. But really, if you could just have a sword, they'd be so much better. Like, a single sword.
Yeah, a
so
single sword, and then you're beating Skullwoods, and...
You can get into Meyer, as you mentioned. Ice Palace isn't ideal, but it's a bit better with a sword. Not doing Zora checks. I guess Fear's gonna do that after Ice, maybe? Or maybe because maybe they're gonna do it after Ice, I think. So maybe Fear was doing Waterfall Fairy before Ice Palace to see if they could improve the situation, like equipment-wise, for Ice Palace, like a sword, for instance, or bombos.
Honestly, with the amount of money he has, and given that he still doesn't have a sword, I'm a little surprised you didn't visit the upgrade fairy there.
That's true. You could buy some arrows and top off your bombs even more. Would be a good point. You could do that. Although we can't icebreaker here, so you can avoid a lot of the more annoying rooms that are awful on low equipment.
And of course we have Hookshot for the Pen Gators. Okay, now we really have a lot of money. Where's Vex off to? I guess he's also going to the pod area, but by a pyramid.
Going to do Pyramid Ledge first, it looks like, which we have not seen.
Never know, maybe Pod Big Key's here. Nope, just junk.
You know, I think it's happening since Agatar, isn't really required in the seed anymore. Bombos will make culture easier. Have more magic left over. After
again, if we had a sword to use it.
Okay, Drosy, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Okay, if you just had a sword, the seed would be so much better.
Nice. And Vex is really keen on Dark Cross. He's like, okay, I have the lamp. I am doing Dark Cross. I am, like, hanging all my hopes and dreams on Dark Cross.
They have the lamp now. It makes sense. You're already doing Pyramid Ledge. You can't do Agatar with this play, which is unfortunate, but, I mean, you can do anything else. Big key to TR. Okay.
That's a good find.
I was gonna mention. I was going to say something. I forgot what I was gonna talk about. Oh, there's a sword.
See, as we
Oh,
were discussing,
finally.
sword and ice.
And that ice big was in hype case, are totally free. So if Vex has them, any other player in the race should have that big key. So no one should be missing that check today. So everyone should finally get a sword at least when they come to Ice Palace. And that helps so much because now you can use the Bombos and Cold Stare. You just have a sword. You can navigate dark rooms, which you can now do more easily. Although Fear's already done most of the tough ones. Arrow big, okay.
Well, now we know that Moldorm's in logic.
True. And you can now do Skull Woods. You can get into Mire. Oh yeah, I was gonna make a joke earlier about how since Aga's not required, so now you don't need swords to get through the barrier earlier on for anything. So like, the game's not gonna give us any swords. Like you don't need this. You don't have Aga. You can get like all your swords on the climb. There's 4 checks there. Wait, no, because you need a sword for Mire. 3 of the swords. 3 of them can be on the climb. Yeah, other than the late sword, the seed has not been too bad. And Vex is not going to pod, so Vex is gonna, which was a very natural place. It was going to happen soon. So we'll get the Fire Rod and Mitts and Mire Big. I forget what else was here, but at least those 3 items.
Oh, wow, that was a nice takedown of Cold Stare with Fire Rod.
Yes, and you can see, that's also a pendant.
So we just need Eastern Big, and we can get our GT Big out of the way.
Yeah, so the only thing you would go into GT looking for in this seed could be your second sword.
Yeah.
But more likely your Eastern. Sword and pod big key chest.
Wow. So, yeah, that's the thing about 4 pod smalls. You can do either the big key chest or Harmless Hellway, but not both. Fear did Harmless Hellway, and it was just a piece of heart. Vex did big key chest and got a sword, so he'll have Master Sword out of ice.
Yeah, they chose different the different one-off chests. So, it's a gamble between you do. So, yeah, Vex is paid off. So Vex is probably gonna do Skull Woods, I would bet. Well, probably, but they only have the back and big chests available, unlike Fear Agent has the whole thing. But Vex will probably go finish on Skull Woods soon. I feel like I would do that before Ice in this situation. But either plays pretty good.
Of course, we haven't found the boots yet.
Yeah, no boots. No boots. Not many swords.
Fear's gonna get his lamp and flippers, though.
Yes. That'd be nice. Vex had issues there with all the beetles, and decided just to mirror and reset it all.
Why not?
At least I assume it was an accidental mirror based off how they were quick swapping. Okay, that's where the lamp was. Yeah, there are things that are locked by a sword. One, as Just keeps reminding me, and I keep forgetting, is you can't use medallions in this game without a sword. You also can't grab the items off Ether or Bombo's tablet without a sword. In order to get to Mothula, you need a sword. In order to get to Aga 1, the boss, you need a sword. In order to get past the barrier to open Castle Tower or Aga Tower, you need either the cape or the Master Sword, and then you need at least 2 swords to beat Ganon, obviously. Is there anything else?
I think that covers it. You
there are
covered
things.
tablets?
Yes, it did.
Okay. I was a little distracted because I'm trying to remember, did Fear open the Skullwood's big chest?
He has 2 checks left. We can tell by his compass and Skullwood.
Okay, so he did. Got it.
I wasn't watching, but the compass is helping out here. Only reason I know.
Compass actually being useful, imagine that.
Not
That's
for
not
Fear,
supposed to
but
happen.
for the comms, it's helpful for us. Yeah. It's there for us, the commentators. You do need a sword for Aga 1 because there's a cord in the back of the room you have to break open with the sword. You could use the bug net to kill Aga 1 if you have it, but you need a sword to get to Aga 1.
Yeah, there are 2 places in the game where you have to cut a curtain. In this next room that Fear's about to enter, and in the room before Aga 1.
Yeah, Fear's getting to do 1 trip into Skull Woods here, which is pretty nice. But I mean, it's not that much worse for Vex, and what Vex did was completely reasonable. Also, although Vex benefited by getting to have that lamp for Dark Pod Maze, which honestly probably saved more time, having that faster Pod Maze.
Yeah. Now Fear's in trouble because the spikes are going fast and furious, canceling out any hits on Moth.
I think he still has.
There we go.
I think he still had a blue or a red. He bought quite a few potions. Oh, there's the boots.
Well, that's a nice find. Definitely makes you feel good about doing Skull Woods.
And it's nice to see both our players are going to get boots around the same time. So not one of them's going to have like a boot advantage for half an hour or something. So that's nice to see as a spectator.
That also makes Desert twice as good a check as it just was until recently.
Yeah, neither player's even gone to Mire area yet, which makes sense because they've had some good dungeons to do right now, so it makes sense. Maybe Mire area now from Fear? Yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, you got a sword, so if it is Ether or Bombos, you can enter.
Bombos, so we can get in.
Yeah, it was hard for me to see it looked like Bombos.
Honestly, yeah, Beer, an arrow upgrade here from Upgrade Fairy would be nice, because if we have to fight video right now, it is not fun. Like, you can do it. You have 10 hearts, blue mail, bow, fire sword, but you have no invincibility items, no silvers.
As I say, I don't...
Yeah, I know some players really recommend, like, in the scenario, like, getting the upgrade for the arrows from Upgrade Fairy before this type of Vidi fight, because with 45 arrows, you can actually like use strictly arrows on the Vidi fight, and it's super helpful here. And then if you do mess up, you still have bombs, you still have hammer and a fire sword, like you can clean it up a little bit, but it's a lot, but it makes a big difference with 30 arrows. But in this case, Fear might just be like, I can do it without the arrows, or maybe they'll just hopefully get some better items here in Mire. There's 7 checks they can do first. Although 2 are out of logic, of course, on the left side.
Right, we're 1 small key short of this actually being in logic. By the way, very nice Moth fight for Vex. Only 3 spikes came out.
Oh, that's good.
And yeah, Vex doing Ice, which we know will be a good play.
Yeah, Master Sword. That's already is pretty nice.
And Bombos.
And Bombos for Mire, yes. That's a good point.
And he is doing the Upgrade Fairy. I approve.
Okay. Comms and chat are happy. I see it.
Yeah, 35 arrows is exactly how many arrows you need to take Biddy down if you don't miss any shots. There's our pod big.
Out of logic, pod big, admire big chest.
But that also means that the third Meyer small can't be that far away.
No. I mean, in this case, I agree with Fierce play. Like, you can pretty much expect you're going to find the third Meyer small pretty soon, so you might as well treat it as in logic. You can do it right now really easily and not double dip. Like, it almost everyone's going to check those left sided. And if his pod small, so Fear can grab that Master Sword when we go back to pod.
Yeah, that'll be good. And then he can, combo Pyramid with Pyramid Fairy, since he hasn't checked Pyramid Ledge yet.
And Dark Cross.
That too.
And Agate Tower.
Oh yeah, he'll have Master Sword by then. He can check the first chest. We haven't gotten any small keys. But yeah, I think it is reasonable at that point to check the first chest.
I feel like for me, in this version of AD keys or in AAD, I would try so hard, even harder than I do in regular AD keys, to try not to go to Agate Tower until I have a 1 CT small. Unless I have like nothing else to do. But that could definitely not work out. So yeah. And doing first chest doesn't take that long. It's more like the rock up to. Nah, it takes a little bit actually. We'll see.
We're getting very close to item go mode. We need Ice Rod, of course, but that's about it.
So
and then we just need a bunch of big keys.
So Fear's gonna go do the really fun Vidi fight. I mean, Fear's got not the best health scenario, but does have some potions still. So, won't be the fastest fight, but should be okay as long as Fear's somewhat careful. I don't know how many potions Fear has. I want to see Fear has a red and a blue, but I'm not totally sure.
I think so. I mean, when you have 4 bottles, it's easy to lose count. Vex getting to do the Freezer Room bomb jump in the free direction. It's like, just put the bomb somewhere, it'll probably blow you across.
So, I'm trying to think and there's Mastered for Vex. Yeah, that's going to make the Cold Stare fight even nicer. I mean, they don't have to use. They can also just use potions and Fire Rod like Fear did. Okay, Fear went ahead and did one of the potions to heal up. Starting off with Hammer. So yeah, Vex is going to have a faster Fiddy fight between having Master Sword and having more arrows and bombs. Vex will have a much easier time on this fight. I mean, Fear is showing like how it's done, doing a good job. It's of course a bit slow, but
I mean, I'd probably throw some bombs personally.
Yeah, I feel like to me, I would have already thrown some bombs, and I would have already thrown out some arrows. I would have done at least 8 of my bombs by this point to start off the fight if I'm going to use them. Weaken them up.
But then again, as we discussed, Fear's kind of rusty.
Okay, Fear's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Still plenty of arrows left for the big eyeball.
And Vex did a good job in the Cold Stare fight. That's all over, and now they can, yeah.
So that is, the all-important bug net.
We need that fillet. Very important item.
But yeah, that's Vex's 3rd dungeon and Fear's 4th.
Yeah. Let's see. Vex did the Zoro checks in Hobo, which Fear hasn't yet. And Pyramid Ledge and Dark Cross.
And now we'll finally get to see what's inside Desert.
Yeah, I feel while you're here, you can get 2 of the items between Torture Map chests. It's not that bad.
Oh, Vex is going to do checkerboard before he goes into Mire. We haven't seen this yet.
I personally like doing this. Like, see if he gets something that helps you out and makes Mire even faster. Like, why not? Oh, Swamp Small. We can do Swamp now.
Okay, that's pretty nice. Fire shield sitting in checkerboard. Not touching that.
That's what we needed. So at this point, Fear's 2 best options are you can go finish up Pod and finish up those checks, or you go do Swamp. Like, those are the 2 main plays right now.
So I'm starting to wonder about the book. Unless Bombos has something, the book being early just seems like one of those accidents of, well, it had to be somewhere.
Yeah, we haven't seen the book was not needed at all logically for Desert, and East Talbot had nothing. So you're right; it's either gonna be Bombos. I'm guessing Fio's gonna do Swamp here first, because maybe like, well, maybe I can delay Pod and skip a couple of the main checks until I have to do Eastern and have my big key to combine it. So probably see Swamp. Yeah, this looks like the Swamp play.
Sorry, we're not yet allowing your clip in this mode.
Not cool. How dare you? Guess we'll watch an extra 22 seconds of cutscene, although it feels like 22 minutes, you know?
Yes, it does take a while for the water to fill.
The one advantage of doing Pod first here, though, now I'm thinking about it, is that is your second Pyramid Crystal. So then you could, after Swamp, more easily then go up to Pyramid Fairy after Swamp if you did Pod first. That'd be a nice routing advantage of that. But you also like, do I want to go back and check Pod Big Chest and not potentially be able to combine with Eastern? That's your trade-off here in terms of what you pick. So if he was doing, that's probably what I would do as well.
But again, I've been thinking since we got all those small keys early on that this is feeling like Pyramid Fairy may have something.
I completely agree with you. And plus you can combine it with Pyramid Ledge, Dark Cross at this point for Fear. Desert Small. Okay, we can go back there.
Yeah, now the right side's in logic. Still don't have the big.
I mean, that does mean you were required to at least logically do a double dip for Desert because you had to go to Desert Torch to get your Swamp Small. Well, no, you didn't need the Swamp Small. Actually, you could have double dipped Swamp actually instead to get that key first.
Oh, right, because it was in the first chest.
But that's way more disgusting than double dipping Desert. Looks like Fierce gonna delay left side, or not do left side. Because you could be doing Compass just first. But most people will do left side and then Compass. We'll see what Fear chooses to do here. I feel like you're probably gonna do left side here. We still need Eastern Big. We need Desert Big. We need Thieves Big. We need 2 more TR Smalls. We need an Ice Rod. We need a sword. I mean, Fear needs a sword. Vex doesn't.
Well, Fear should get that sword out of Pod now that he has another key.
Yeah, Fear will. And then we do need more GT Smalls, really. We only have 1. So we're not going to build... GT's not going to be too fun at the moment.
I mean, as long as we can find Eastern Big, we never have to touch GT Basement, so 1 small is fine.
That's a big if, though.
Yes, Eastern Big could be in GT Basement.
Yeah, Eastern Big's going to be like... That's going to be our big question mark item. Because that's the only thing that can be in GT that we care about. So, yeah. If you get Eastern Big early, then it makes it way more clear how you need to play this seed. As long as you don't have Eastern Big, there's a bigger question mark of like going to GT sooner. But everything that isn't Eastern Big, we can expect to find not in GT.
Also, we put a prediction in chat if you want to burn your channel points about just how productive Pyramid Fairy will be. I'll be shocked if neither runner checks it. So.
For Fear right now, it's an even stronger play because Fear has not done Dark Cross, has not done Pyramid Ledge. So if you can combine it with the minimum 2 other checks, if not potentially 1 or 2 items in Castle Tower by the time they actually get there.
Okay, Vex doing spins, but Master Sword spins do a lot more damage than Fighter Sword spins.
And we found our third medallion, so we don't care what the TR medallion is. Ice Rod for TR. Speaking of TR.
Okay, so we are in item go mode definitively. We just need more keys.
And that was definitely a much faster fight. For Vex's end, because of how they routed and also how they chose to get those upgrades, their the Vidi part was a lot faster, and getting through pod for them was a lot faster. Although the pod thing was like out of Fear's hands, and not having Master Sword was also out of Fear's hands. That just happens. Yeah, Eastern big and Eastern would be gross. Because at this point, if you hit go mode, minus Eastern big, like you hit GT mode, where you can, this is TR small. I mean, we'll need one more of those. But like, if you hit go mode minus Eastern big, basically we'll call that GT mode. And you haven't touched Eastern yet, you're not gonna touch Eastern. You're just gonna go to GT. And that would be gross.
But at this point, it might be tempting when you go back to pod.
Do Eastern, yeah. Which is part of why, like you can understand why Fear's delaying pod, because you feel like you're probably gonna have to go to Eastern if you're there.
And Vex is also gonna do Swamp, though he fluted to 7 instead of 4.
We all do that every now and then. Happens to everyone.
So I imagine Fear will check Bombos coming out of Swamp. Vex is gonna check Bombos now.
Well, we haven't seen Smith's Chain, have we? From either player. Which is reasonable with how the season plays out.
Yeah.
Why would you do a Smith's Chain at this point?
I feel like if you get Thieves Big and then go back to finish Thieves, you do it. But of course, if Thieves Big is on Smith Chain, that's a problem.
Arrows. So Book was useless today. It was just a time waster. I guess we can. Well, I was gonna say check pet, but we know what pet is. Never mind. That'd just be for the memes. Let's do that. Wouldn't be too useful in this mode. So yeah, Book completely useless today. Okay, where do you think Fear goes, Jossie? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking he does pod at this point. I mean, what else is he gonna do? A, B, C, D, right?
Yeah. And it was gonna do, of course, doing the bomb tablet first, as you mentioned a moment ago, like Beck's doing it beforehand. This makes complete sense. What we expected. But yeah, I think they'll also do pod as well. But the question would be, do you do Eastern right away, or do you go immediately do Pyramid Fairy? And like Pyramid Ledge and Dark Cross?
I mean, Eastern's 4 items, and it's right there.
The other thing is, assuming Few gets that Master Sword from Pod Big Key Chest, Few's gonna know, okay, I can get an Agataro now, so I can do the first check of Agataro, I can do Pyramid Ledge, I can do Dark Cross, and I can do Pyramid Fairy. That's 5 items you can combo. And then Few could even combine that into Catfish, and then the Zora checks they didn't do earlier. So that's another option for Fear at the moment, if they don't want to do Eastern yet. That's gonna be a hard choice. Although you might delay Catfish and the Zora stuff until maybe doing North Darkwold checks later when you're like really desperate for progression.
Homemade Beer's egging you on because he has a deep hatred for Eastern Palace. Even more so than, like, Zelga or Wally.
Me? Yeah, I don't.
No, you don't. Homemade Beer is egging you on because of his hatred.
I don't like for early Eastern. I feel like Beer is definitely one of the players who will do the early Eastern. Not all the time, but more willing than other people. Okay, Beer did get the Master Sword. You would expect it here. So, the question is, Fear's probably gonna do Pod Big Chest as well. Like you need items still, like so many. Not all time Beer. I'm sorry, that was mean of me. You always meme and check Eastern Palace as soon as you can. My bad. I should have said something so untruthful.
I'm gonna adjust Vex's transcoding in hopes that this stops the freezing.
Well, Vex will get through Ice Rod, so that's good. And it makes sense for Fear to do Helma first, then before Big Chest, but I don't see any way in which Fear's gonna skip Pod Big, because as you mentioned, we still need 3 big keys between Thieves, Desert, Eastern, and Desert and Thieves big key we need before we can even get into GT. We still need a TR small. So yeah, so what do we need left in the seed? We need the TR small, we need a Thieves big, we need a Desert big, and we need Eastern big. So I think we are 3 big keys and a small key away from go mode, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, where was the 6th pod small? I missed it.
I have no idea. Must have been in Swamp.
Yeah, I just noticed that Fear's now showing 6 pod smalls.
When Vex goes to the back of Swamp in a moment, we can check, because Vex only has 5, so probably back of Pod. I mean, back of Swamp.
By the way, shoutouts to our tracker lady Laura Linda for keeping track of all this and keeping us honest. Also, I realized Vex must have been dropping frames because his timer's now off.
Powder.
Ooh.
Oh, now we can find out what fake powder, which could have been done much earlier in the seed, will give. We'll find out what that was.
But only if we do Smith Chain. You're not gonna just go do Magic Bat.
And you could food over there, but yeah, I agree with you. You're gonna delay it for now. Okay, back in for Big Chest, I imagine. Yeah. Okay.
There's the Turtle Rock small. So was it Waterfall that had the last pod small?
Must be. I don't think it was on Argus. Nope, it must have been Argus. Okay, never mind. Oh, it was Compass? Okay, maybe it's another pod small that Fear got. How did I forgetting? Tempered!
Oh,
2 swords in
swords.
pod. Oh, okay. Cool. So 2 swords in pod.
Both
pod...
logically behind 6 smalls.
Yeah. So pod big key chest, pod big chest, and Ice Palace big chest. I've had 3 swords so far. And Fear choosing to go up the mountain right now. Not unreasonable. You can. I would delay. I would feel like I want to delay until I for sure get a 3rd TR small.
Yeah.
But it's not unreasonable because like. It's a
Watch the
reasonable
3rd
call.
TR small be on Pyramid Fairy.
I mean, we have Super Bunny we can do now. We have Hookshot Cave. We know 6 quick checks. We also, and Spike Cave's still not in Logic either. But we have Hookshot Cave. We have Super Bunny. We can do really fast. So like, this is not a bad play, but it is a little risky because you might have to do another trip to mountain if your 3rd TR small is not up here. Because I don't think you really want to dive TR right now. Like you can, but it feels risky. I feel like I want to do a little bit more other parts of Dark World before I would touch Mountain at this point.
Yeah.
But that's me being a little more risk averse. Yeah.
Where's Vex off to? Boots checks? I would do King's Tomb before Bonk Rocks.
Yeah,
but...
I was just thinking, we have not seen King's Tomb at all today. But again, it kind of makes sense because we got those boots and we just be able to keep floating and mirroring. And like, we just haven't had a good moment. TT small?
I know you're excited.
Okay, well see, now you could go do, this makes the pyramid play better. So, maybe your TT small, the other one was in Pyramid Fairy. So it makes let's make that better. Okay. Throw TRI small though, so Fear would really like to see. So I would want to see. Yep, okay, there you go.
Okay.
Not punished. Not punished.
Yes, we're doing TR. And hey, now Moth's in Logic.
Now a Bootso in Logic. Okay, and the last...
So they were on 5 pod smalls.
Okay, got it. Okay. So Swamp Compass had the 5th pod small. Okay, well, Fear's got their 13 small. This is working out really well for them. And this means that they can reduce the number of like overworld checks they have to do that you don't really want to do. Looking for your Thieves Big and your Desert Big. That's all we need now. We just need Thieves Big, Desert Big. You need Eastern Big. If we get Desert Big and Thieves Big, you can then choose to go GT mode, where you just assume Eastern Big is in GT and kind of go mode everything, or not. You can also choose not to do that.
And then Eastern Big turns out to be an Eastern,
which would be so gross because we have not seen Eastern. So yeah, I'm interested to see if you're a runner right now. If you feel like things are going well, you would want to see Eastern show up before Desert Big and Thieves Big, so you just don't have to worry about what will be a gross ice red hut essentially.
And now our Pod Big's in Logic.
Yeah, which means that our Tempered's in Logic. Actually, both the last two swords are no, because that's Tempered's in Logic. Yeah, and Pyramid Fairy's in Logic. Okay, game.
Guess we're doing Lava Chest.
Okay, both TR smalls, just up on top. I should not have questioned Fear. Fear was just right. I'm wrong.
Just to clarify one thing, by the way, this mode is also 100% locations. As of right now, 100% locations is still buggy, but as it happens, we have managed to not have any small keys locking themselves.
I feel at this point I probably wouldn't skip anything in TR at this moment because you still have so many checks left. I'd rather just these cleaned up, but yeah, I'd probably just full clear the rest of TR. But yeah, you could potentially just make more skips in TR and try to save some time. I'm assuming Fear will probably go do Big Chest and Mimic Cave here. Yep, we will see Mimic Cave in Big Chest.
Okay, I really want to see Vex go into Eastern. Just on principle. He's been going out of his way for all these plays that have turned up nothing, and so his best hope at this point is, a big key in Eastern.
It would be good. I mean, I just feel like Vex has been a little bit more, I'll say a little more conventional and thorough, with Fierce taking a couple more like smaller risks, like going up the mountain here before doing some more overworld checks, not skipping Skull Woods until having like everything that you could do it in one trip. Fear never did the Zora area, never did Hobo, never bothered Pyramid Ledge or Dark Cross. So like overall, they've actually made a lot of the same plays. Fear was just kind of like put off and delayed some things more that have worked out well for Fear.
Vex, what in the heck are you... I guess he's doing Pyramid Fairy, but accidentally hit the A button too early while fluting.
Yeah, this is what I would be doing. Although Vex is a little bit less strong because you've already done Dark Cross, you've already done Pyramid Ledge.
I don't know, time for Catfish and Graveyard Ledge?
Yeah. Although I'd probably do Catfish and still not do Graveyard Ledge. Yeah, I'm eager to see what is here in Pyramid Fairy. Because as you mentioned, it's in Logic. I feel like the seed has been pushing us here gradually for a while. These sound big. Okay. We're almost in Go mode. I mean, we need 2 more bigs, and we meant almost, but we're close to GT mode. We just need Desert Big for GT mode.
Ooh, very nice bomb dupe by Vex. And meanwhile, does Fear go back and do Smith Chain after Thieves Town?
Desert Big.
Desert Big. Wow.
Oh god, we're in GT mode. That Eastern Big can be.
Oh no.
That's all. Okay, so that Eastern Big, it can be anywhere in GT that is not GT Big locked. It can be here on Trinex. It can be in the back of Thieves. It can be in one of the 4 remaining checks in Desert. It can be in the front of Eastern in one of the 2 checks that isn't Big Key locked. Smith Chain, Catfish, Graveyard Ledge, Bumper Cave, Magic Bat, Pyramid. Okay, we just saw Pyramid Fairy. Was there nothing on Pyramid Fairy?
There was nothing. All my hopes and dreams have been dashed.
That's sad. It could also be in Castle Tower, the second chest, not the first chest. Point is, Eastern Big can be in a lot of spots still, so it is now basically an Ice Rod hunt. Odds are still it's in GT. So I mean, Fierce. So yeah, and you probably check Desert though. You check Desert and Thieves while you're there beating them because you have to beat them.
Yeah.
I
mean, the problem with Eastern Big is in any Keysanity mode, Eastern Big is an Ice Rod.
Yeah, that's totally correct. That's not unique to this. The only thing that's unique here is, of course, the normal 80 keys is now it's like Eastern Big's the only Ice Rod hunt, because normally you have like 2, because you also normally have a CT small hunt still right now. So just 1 less Ice Rod hunt right now than you might normally have. So here's a question: do you do Desert first or Thieves first? Because with Thieves, you can do the whole back and just check them all on the way, but then you might want to combine that into Smith Chain or other Dark World checks while you're there. Well, and then you're probably just going to go GT mode, so you probably just do Thieves and then Desert and just hope GT's the answer. That's probably what Fear's going to do.
I would probably do Desert and then Thieves into Smith Chain, just in case Eastern Big is there.
If that's the situation, if you want to consider Smith Chain before GT, then I agree with you, that's the way you route it. But if you just want to go straight GT mode, you do Thieves, you do Desert, you just hope it's in GT, you skip Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid Ledge, Catfish, Castle Tower, North Dark World, Smith Chain, Eastern Palace.
You know, if Eastern Big happens to be on the way, Fear could finish in like an hour 35.
Yeah. And yeah, good. Pretty good time. I mean, you don't have to do an Aga Tower, but still. I would say Fear would be destroyed me to see, because I would have played it a lot more how Vex has played it. But Fear's made some very good plays, like smart decisions that have also worked out well. Of what they've checked and risked and delayed. It's worked out really well.
He never did Zora. He never did Hobo. He never did the boots checks. He put off Skullwood so that he single dipped it.
Okay, we're happy to see that, because if we're going to go GT mode, we want some GT smalls to actually be able to look through GT.
Right. I'm still convinced Eastern Big isn't in GT, because Vex has been lecturing me that this mode will force a lot of double dips of GT. And I want to convince him that this seed does not require a double dip of GT.
So you're saying GT? You're saying Eastern Big is not in GT?
Right.
Okay, I'm saying it's gonna be the lame choice. Is going to be in GT.
Time to run another prediction, right?
Yeah, we could do it. I don't know how. I assume you know how.
Yeah, working on it.
Cool. We got a shovel in blind cell. Cool. Yeah, for Vex, I could see Vex doing a not GT route. Best of. We can see that. Yeah, Fear is definitely doing the I'm going GT mode. Like, it's in GT. That's what I'm betting on. Fear is clearly playing the seed that way. And then it's to Fear's benefit because Fear has put off a lot of other checks, like in a smart way, not in like some dumb, reckless way. So for Fear, it's better off if like the seed's just a little more, I'll say a little more jet-like and like linear, because it would mean that Fear gets completely away with not doing the checks they haven't done.
Chain Chomp's not playing nicely with Vex. There goes blind for Fear. That is 8 dungeons down.
Another GT small. We got 2 GT smalls out of Thieves in the back. That's super nice. So GT's an even stronger play now. I mean, we figured we were going to find the smalls soon anyway, but it's nice having them.
Yeah, you can easily full clear the basement now. Just don't open the middle door.
And now, will Fear do right side or big chest of desert? That's a question. Because you're fully committed to GT mode, you can skip those 3 checks, but those can feel bad if you skip. And I feel like if you go in for any of those checks, you're going to do all 3. So you either skip the whole front of desert now and you skip those 3 checks, or you just do Landmo. Fear is just doing Landmo?
Well, no, I think you have to do Landmo first in case it has the Eastern Big.
That's an excellent point. You do Landmo 1 first, which is what Fear's setting up for with that mirror portal placement. And I like that. That's a good point. This makes sense. I would have been a dingus and done it the other way, but this makes way more sense.
Oh my freaking god. No one bet points on GT Big in GT. Eastern Big in GT, sorry.
Nah, bet on GT. It's gonna be unexciting that GT Big is gonna, or Eastern Big is gonna be in GT. That's what it's gonna be. We're all gonna be disappointed. I mean, I hope it's similar Mimi, like Eastern Palace, like everyone else, but, you know, I live in reality. I know the seed's just gonna put the GT Big, or Eastern Big, if I can say the right thing. Although it's basically the GT Big, because it's locking your GT Big. And GT. Oh, did it end? Is that what you were referring to?
Yeah, I only put 2 minutes on it.
Oh, literally no one bet. I thought you were telling people not to bet.
No. Hey, is that the 4th GT small? No.
Hyrule Castle.
Sewers, okay.
What did we get out of Hyrule Castle?
What did we get in Zelda's cell? I remember there was something in Zelda's cell.
Was it a pod small? I don't. That was too long ago. That was like 3 minutes into the seed. Mushroom, which had...
Oh, thank you, Lady Laura Linda. Right. The worthless... Well, no, it wasn't worthless. It had an Ice Palace small.
Yeah, Ice Palace small, so... Okay.
But we had Samaria in Ice Palace, so the second Ice Palace small had no logical implications.
We got a sword out of Ice Palace, but... I don't know.
Right, but we only needed 1 Ice Palace small for logic because we had Samaria.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And now Vex is claiming his big keys from Laser Bridge.
You know what else I forgot? Eastern Big could also be in Hera.
Yeah, we still don't have a Harris Small. We can't go into the basement, but we could check the big chest. Do you check Hera big chest before you go into GT?
Oh no, I would have. I'm doing what Fear does. In this situation, I'm doing full GT mode.
Both runners doing backdoor strats on Trinex. Always fun to see that.
So even in this mode, Drosy, where we're putting GT big on the pad, we're still doing essentially a big key hunt in GT to get our GT big. That's still what's happening.
Yeah, well, that's Fear's fault because the Eastern Big isn't in GT.
That's right. It's Fear's fault. It's not even here. That's right. Obviously, we're gonna do 22 checks, get nothing. It's not here.
I mean, certainly Vex's big out is GT, is Eastern Big not in GT. And Vex also doing Thieves Before Desert.
Yeah, it looks like Vex is gonna go. We'll probably do GT mode then. But also maybe they're just hoping that they can get the Eastern Big on the way.
And now chat can get all excited about what if the Eastern Big is in Tile Room.
Oh, I would be right in the scenario, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
But we have so many other locations left. We have Catfish, Graveyard Ledge, of course the 4 checks at Eastern that are available without the big.
Alright, now he beat Aga. Cool. Let's see, we still don't have Swamp Big, so the next big we see could still be a joke, could be a troll. So it looks like Fear's gonna do Rando Rush here, maybe, or like full left or something of that nature. Probably at least Rando Rush.
Yeah, I feel like in Keysanity, full left is a perfectly good play.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Yeah, if you're just looking for one item, try to delay having to go to big key area at all and do the quicker checks. It makes some sense.
Well, coming up to Rando Room now. This will be checks 8 through 11.
Silvers? We'll take 3 silvers.
That's a nice find. Did you find the arrows in my tower? Wonder where the 4th sword is.
Yeah. We might never know. Okay, so Fear's going like full left. Going to big key area. Before them touching right side.
Yeah, 10 more checks. It's now statistically more likely that the Eastern Big is not in GT.
That is true. Have magic and silver from doing full left.
I mean, at least he got something out of doing all that.
You know, Fear's gonna feel really bad if it's just in Hope Room. It probably isn't, but it would feel pretty bad if it was.
Oh! Why?
That's why you don't do full left. That's what happens. I mean, that's
Why?
what Fear did was completely reasonable, but that hurts if you're Fear, because Fear played this seed, like routing wise, basically perfect, and then GT did not go Fear's way. I mean, that happens. That's what Fear did was reasonable, but I mean, it was a bit risky. That's why a lot of people wouldn't go for that play.
I couldn't bring myself to resolve the prediction and take everyone's points, so I deleted it.
Oof. But yeah, as Eastern Big, it was in the most unexciting spot. It was feels bad for Fear because that's just like you do have silvers, but I mean that does not recoup the cost of going full left first.
Well, I guess Vex can make up a lot of time if he rushes GT and goes to Hope Room.
Which, more likely Vex can, yeah, we'll get to Hope Room at least a little bit sooner, most likely. But yeah, this seed definitely let you skip a lot of Overworld. You can skip all of Castle Tower, Pyramid Ledge, Pyramid Ferry, North Dark World, Catfish, all of Smith Chain was skippable. All of Eastern Palace was skippable. And most of GT was skippable. So you could actually skip a lot in the seed. Oh, like all your fake protects were also skippable.
Yeah, we got a mail upgrade and a shield out of it. That was about it.
Yep. This seed's one where like if you just choose to be more aggressive and skip a lot, like except for left side swamp basically, and you throw most of the places, like but like only the stuff that was kind of jetting on the way, it would have paid off for you, which you did mostly for Fear, minus GT.
We should note that no one's finished yet, so no one has, like, amazingly god-routed this.
Honestly, I think Fear came... Oh, Cape at the very end, okay. I think Fear, outside of it happened to GT, Fear almost kind of god-routed this, all things considered. Like, Fear played it very reasonably, so I won't say fully god-routed, but, like, Fear made, like, the right skips, and they paid off in the right, like, routing order. So, you know... I don't say God route, but Fear had a really good route.
Yeah.
For the seed. Until GT. So I guess big things that could hurt here is if for some reason you skip left side swamp. You did more checks in the overworld could hurt you, which people could very reasonably done. Skipping some checks in pod would get you out, could potentially lose you 2 swords, which would be terrible. But still, it wasn't that bad. I feel like the biggest thing in this siege is really, and there's the GT big for Fear on Ped. What you can expect to see in these AAD Keysanity seeds from now on. So now Fear is officially in Go mode. Or officially has all the items. Was in Go mode at the moment they got the Eastern big, but officially has all the items they need now. And we still have to do the climb. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, like, the pulling ped for GT Big Key is going to start to feel repetitive by the time that week is out, but at least it's only 1 week.
It is the con, and then because as you mentioned, like in the Vex mentioned, that you're probably gonna have a lot more of these GT double dips, which also means an extra mountain climb, a lot of your seeds. But no Aga Tower, so you gotta. Do you want to pull ped and climb mountain a second time, or do you want to do Aga Tower and find your CT small?
Yeah.
Which is worse to you? Which is more fun? Which do you like?
Look at the sync as they went up through Paradox Cave, though. Fear did a bit better with the dead rocks coming out of it.
Wait a minute. Oh wait, no, I'm about to say, like, why didn't Fear just climb GT? Oh, but before they beat Eastern, but I'm like, oh wait, they had to go get the big key. Never mind. Yeah. Not like normal 80 keys where like you'll get the big key and you can just do the climb and then have to come back.
And
Yeah,
somehow Fear just released an episode of his podcast while racing.
really
The man is multi-talented.
impressive. Yeah, you really did. Okay.
Now, how's Vex going in here? Okay, he's gonna be in and out really quick. He will not get silvers, he will not get half magic, but he'll spend a heck of a lot less time in GT Basement.
Yeah, he saves like 2-3 minutes over Fear here with the GT routing. And I say 2-3 minutes only because the silvers do help a little bit equalize it out, but it's still probably about 3 minutes to time save.
I'm still sad. All those places where the Eastern Big Key could have been and wasn't.
I understand, Josh. I was hoping for something a little. Eastern Palace would have been a great watch as a spectator to see.
Yeah, or even Hera Big, or Shovel Spot, or Catfish, or something.
I think Bumper Ledge would have been great. Can someone check the LT? Second check Castle Tower would have been one I would also enjoy. And while Vex is going to be a bit behind here of Fear, I mean, the way Vex played this, like there were some spots where Vex definitely made some better choices in Fear, especially with how they handled like playing for Vidi. But overall, Vex is, I'd say like played more conventional, and then like take some smaller gambles, like going to Mountain with only 2 TR smalls, or trying to put up Skull Woods, or not doing the fake flipper checks early. Not doing pyramid ledge, like, or did you know? So like, Valky's played a bit more safe, a bit more conventional. Fear didn't do that quite as much, and it worked out for Fear. Fear wasn't punished, minus like not having the lamp as soon, and Master quite as soon, but that wasn't that bad of a punish. So you know, Vex. My point is that Vex played this really well, and so played really smart and played well. So Fear just skipped a little bit more, or like delayed stuff more, I should say, like delayed more and routed things in a little bit different order, and it just paid off really well for Fear with the way the seed was spaced out item wise.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly Team Kappa got their 4-leaf clover back.
Okay.
Fear. Okay. Guess we definitely weren't doing Hera Basement.
I mean, we could. We don't have a golden sword yet. Let's go see it.
That's probably where the 4th sword is. So Fear will be not much over 140 at the end of the day.
And no one else is finished yet, so Fear might get first, and even if Fear doesn't, Fear's gonna have like a really great time. So even if Fear loses this, it's gonna be by less than the time spent Fear spent doing full left. So for Fear to haven't played in quite a while, I guess this is impressive. Like Fear can say they're rusty, but their times and placement in this race says otherwise.
Yeah.
So Fear's still an amazing player, which I mean we all know and expected.
Well, I mean, he hadn't played for a few months when he did main tournament quals, and he, I think, qualled in 2nd quartile, I want to say, and decided not to play. But yes, here's Vex doing another mountain climb. What is this? 4 mountain climbs?
Yes.
Yeah, Fear is in good position to win this entire race. And Vex is really not going to be in bad shape. He'll probably be somewhere between 145 and 150.
Yeah, I mean, Vex have played this really well. So, Vex should be happy with how they played this.
Yeah, he just did a few more checks and his routing turned out to be slightly less efficient, other than GT Basement, where, one and done. Nice triple. So get your GGs in for Fear Agent, who makes quite the comeback here of someone who hasn't raced for many months.
Yeah, impressive showing. And Fear does get first place overall. How many races did we have? 10 people? And some very good players in this race as well.
Yeah, I mean, Cam, Furious Magic, Werf Jig, Danny Music, Dapper Wormman. A lot of scary racers in this, so to come in first is, after not racing for several months, is a pretty impressive accomplishment.
Impressive. Yeah, Fear basically, well, I won't say Fear hit the god route, but Fear played really smart in their choices. They made the smarter, they took, with the few moments you could, like, delay things and take some smaller risks, Fear took those opportunities to take those smaller risks and, get better routing efficiency and save some time, skip a few more, or, like, delay some checks, which ended up eventually becoming skips because you never had to do them. And it just worked out really well for Fear. So Fear took those reasonable risks that paid off. And outside of GT, like, this went really well for Fear, and it makes sense why. It's like, Fear played this really well, and I can't say I'm not surprised, despite the GT issues, that Fear got first, because Fear was able to avoid quite a few checks and be really efficient on the amount of dungeon dips they did.
And he says he will be joining us shortly for an interview. Probably just needs a moment to catch his breath. That's a very weird credits line. Lockheed of Evil's Bane. Of course, Vex, without half magic, has to be a bit more careful of his magic usage here. He'll probably have to use the lamp in Torches 1. Let's see what... Fear did his own sprite, of course. Let's see the collection rate. $168. I think he'd think it was nicer if he'd just opened one more chest. Oh, look, GT Compass in Mini Helma Room.
Nice. Well, I guess Vex is just checking. I guess maybe they can get free silvers, which makes some sense, actually. There was a Swamp Big.
Yay!
Now we have all the big keys. Cool.
Yeah, I think Vex will have every single key in the game if he... Oh, no, the CT Small was in the basement, so he won't have the second CT Small, but if he opens this, he will have every other key in the game.
I think I'm missing a GT Small.
Oh, you're right.
Sorry to be...
Ah, well. I was so hopeful.
Yeah, unfortunate, but all the big keys at least, and almost all the small keys.
And we never saw, like, Berna and stuff.
You saw the cape, which was on blind. That's it.
The cape was on Armos.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
By the way, we've only gotten one more finisher in this time. Furious Magic finished at 142.55. So Vex still has a shot at third.
Yeah.
And we are joined by our winner, Fear Agent. Guess you didn't have too much derusting to do.
GG's Fear Agent. Great race. And we can't hear you if you're talking.
You there? We still can't hear you if you're saying anything.
I'm assuming he's working on fixing some mic issues. Yeah, Vex dropping in here for the Ganon fight, and yeah, they're going to get a good placement as well. Again, the 10 people we had playing this race, all 10 great players. Like, we get some top level talent in this race, so getting a good placement in this is impressive.
Yeah. You're sounding kind of grainy, but we can hear sound.
Okay, well, I'm on my headphones, so...
Okay, now we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so GG. And as I was saying, you didn't really need to derust, it looks like.
I think I got a little lucky. I bet no one else got silvers or have magic in this race.
Yeah.
That felt pretty stupid, but...
Yeah, Fear, you outside of the GT situation, I mean, I feel like the way you route, I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say god routing, but like, you played very reasonably, but like, you made some decisions where you took some slight gambles, like when you went to Dark Mountain with only 2 TR smalls and like delaying Skull Woods, you know, never doing some of the overworld checks you could have done, like Pyramid area. It all just paid out for you really well. So outside GT, like, I mean, again, I wouldn't say you got at it, but something pretty close to it, where you made really reasonable decisions, and it just paid off super well.
Yeah, I felt good, and I was worried because I felt good.
Oh no, Vex just took a Ganon fall. That's unfortunate. He was on track for third place. He may yet get it, but you can't feel good about taking a Ganon fall. But yeah, trying to think through some of the one thing both of you guys did that we were kind of surprised by was like front of escape right off the bat. I mean, yeah, there were all those bombs, but not something you often see in an open mode.
Yeah, it was just a feeling more than anything. I thought maybe I can get something going into CAC. Plus, I wanted to practice my bomb escape because I haven't done that in a long time.
Fair enough.
You got a useless mushroom?
Yeah, what was it, Ice Palace Key or something?
Yeah, the second Ice Palace small, and since you had Samaria, the second small didn't mean anything.
I think the only thing that I wish that I did was go to Skull Woods before I went to Ice. I think that was just because then I would have gotten the boots, but...
Yeah, I was wondering whether you do Ice or Skull. I probably would have done Skull first situation, but I mean, what you did was still pretty reasonable.
But you didn't have a sword.
Oh, yeah, you didn't.
That's right.
Never mind.
Right.
That's why you did it.
That's why I didn't go to Skull. That makes more sense now that I think about it. Yeah.
Now, with the pod small key situation, if you had done big key chest rather than harmless Hellway, you would have gotten a sword that way.
Right, of course. Yeah.
But Vex did.
I'm pretty much always doing the back first. Between Harmless Hellway and the vanilla big key chest, I feel like I'm pretty much always doing the back one, but who knows?
I was a little afraid when you were doing the pod Dark Maze with Samario Red Boomerang.
Yeah, I got stuck there and I almost mirrored out, but I didn't, so that ended up working out pretty well.
GG's to Vex, by the way, who does manage to take down Ganon on the second try, crosses, and does salvage third place overall, despite the Ganon fall, 149.05.
Wow,
So,
yeah. Very good placement with these runners we had in this race.
yeah. And again, in a really tough field. So yeah, Fear, I was curious. Like, I was shocked. I figured you'd probably sign up to calm this, and then I saw you joined, but
Yeah,
just wanted to
figure.
try out the mode.
Yeah, wanted to check this out. Seems pretty good.
And we are now joined by Vextifer as well. How did you like the GT double dip? You like it? You like it?
I mean, first off, GG's Fear.
Yeah, GG's Vex.
Just falling on Ganon, having fun.
Yeah.
And yet it didn't cost you any places in the finish.
Yeah, hilariously. I'm kind of glad I fell, I'm going to be honest. Like, when I missed the 1-on-1, they kind of made me mad. I was like, man, I'm really rusty. No, but the mode, yeah. It kind of played out almost exactly like I expected. Where I don't know. Objectively, when I think about the mode, I'm like, it kind of is nice to most of the time get to skip Aga at the cost of an extra mountain climb. But like in the moment, I think I'd rather do Aga. Like I'm just climbing the mountain twice in a row is just really boring. I don't know why.
But hey, the second CT small was in Stalfos' room, so you would have had to do GT basement anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not worried about GT basement. I'm saying that doing Aga or climbing the mountain twice is what is like annoying. Because like if there's anything for a pendant that's in GT, I mean you're guaranteeing the double dip at GT. Whereas like otherwise you might just have the GT big key and you could just finish the climb there and then do your pendant and save and quit if Aga's done. So I don't know. I feel like it is just more often than not the double climb is just a thing that happens as a matter of course. And like I said, like thinking back on it, I'm like, well, I probably would rather climb the mountain one more time than I would do all of Aga. But like in the moment, I think I would have rather done Aga. I don't know, just for variety, I guess. I don't know why.
I liked it. I like this mode. I thought it was fun. I don't want to do Aga. I don't want to ever see Aga. I don't want to go to Captain Tower.
You're like looking back, I'm like, look, I'm glad I didn't have to do Aga. And like that's what it does, right? So when you like to me, the mode literally just, it basically makes it so that the only reason you would have to do all of Aga is if you needed it for Dark World access, right? And so it's like I think it's the only way in the current build of the randomizer to not force you to do Aga is to just put the GT big key on the pedestal, right? Or in GT, right? Like those are the two choices, but you can't make the pendants required if you put it in GT. So I get it, and like I think it definitely cuts off about 10 minutes on average of 80 key seeds. So I don't hate it. I think it like adds extra mountain climbs. It just felt weird, especially in this one. Like I opened one chest in GT and immediately had to go do Eastern and then climb the mountain again.
I didn't. I got silvers in half magic.
Were they all on the left side, GT?
Yep.
Nice. Did you go to pod first thing in the Dark World?
Nope. I wish I did.
Yeah, I know. This seed could have been like, I mean, you were quick, but this seed could have been like super jetty. If you just go to pod first thing and then just do your dungeons and only do your dungeons, you just win.
Yeah, I had 3 keys too in the bow. I feel like
Yeah, me too. I thought about it. I did.
I didn't think about it until it was too late. And then once I started clearing dungeons, I just kept having dungeons to clear. So I was able to skip a lot of the overworld.
Yeah, I overcleared for sure. I cleared all the overworld in between everything. I could have not done that. And then when I was in GT mode, I could have just been like, you know what, I'm not doing desert. I'm not doing any of this stuff. I'm just gonna go. But I didn't. I cleared it. I cleared every check in the dungeons. It's just
I did all of desert.
Yeah, you guys both did all Desert Fear. I was just thinking, though, in terms of like your early Dark World dungeons, you weren't tempted to buy capacity upgrades when you were doing Ice, knowing that you were going to mire with a fighter sword.
No, I'm never thinking about capacity upgrades unless I'm playing cross keys.
Oh, so it's just like
I
you
was
go to
just
mire
going
with
for it.
whatever you go to mire with.
Yeah, yeah.
I did it only because I had a bunch of money. I was like,
Lots of
screw it.
potions. Yeah, I had lots of potions.
Yeah, lots of green potions. They were very useful, you know. There's I guess one red and a bunch of green potions.
Fear
I
actually
went
went to the magic shop.
Yeah, I went there
Oh,
twice, I think.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'm gonna stay in logic and not go up the mountain early. I was like, I'm gonna see what it is, and then like immediately got lamp and flute, and I was like, well, I guess the logic's both.
But it's interesting, you guys have nearly identical collection rates, but given that Fear did something like 14 extra checks in GT Basement, that means that Vex did 13 extra checks everywhere else.
Yeah, mine were probably much longer than GT Basement. That's a lot of checks. Yeah, no, like I said, I know, like I definitely feel like I overcleared. I mean, not looking for the castle tower keys, I think it actually does kind of make you not need to clear as much. I think it does force, like, benefit kind of being a little more skivvy in the on the overworld, like rather than being efficient. But I don't know that it affects it that much. I mean, I think generally it plays pretty close to 80 keys full, just without CT. I mean, it plays like flat. It plays a lot more like fad keys. Except for you just don't have to do AGA, right?
Yeah, well,
I
that's the
enjoyed
idea.
I enjoyed not having to kill Aga after I climbed the GT tower, so that
Yeah,
was nice.
I guess that's the other thing is that like half the time in 80 key seeds you're killing AGA after the climb anyways, and so it kind of just feels like a tack on. In this one, it's like half the time you're double dipping GT, and that feels like a tag top. I mean, that feels like a tag on. But like, I don't know. I guess you're right. I'd rather tack on another mountain climb than tack on AGA at the end. I do think I like some of the strategy of doing AGA early type of things you can do in full AD keys or even fad keys. I think that there's some benefit to doing that, even just efficiency in the overworld with like mid-century and stuff. So there's like certain times when I think it's interesting to have to clear AGA, but I mean, it's just a different mode. I don't hate it. I think it's a good idea for sure. It's a clever way to avoid doing AGA rather than having just forced AGA keys in AGA.
Yeah, and I'm curious who came up with it. As I said, like, I got the idea from Structural Mike in a conversation I had with him about half a year ago, but I don't know if he was the first person to think about GT Big on pedestal or if someone else came up with it before that. But whoever came up with it, I like it as an idea personally.
Yeah, I think it's clever, for sure.
And hey, I'm looking forward to seeing how AAD Keys Week in League shapes up.
Yeah, this was a great race by both of you guys. Bex mentioned this seat could be really jetty if you skip a lot of the overworld, but I think you both played it really well overall. You both placed really well. So thanks for the great race and showing us what AAD Keysanity looks like.
GG's Fear.
Comms. Yeah, GG's X. Thanks for the comms and trackers, and see you guys later.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us here, and be sure to give both of these runners a follow. You saw how well they both played. I sure enjoy watching both of them.
Sorry.
I mean, you're still third. Shout outs once again to our tracker lady, Laura Linda. Gonna also throw some info here in chat, both on the daily races and then also on the league, which is going to get started in mid-September, but registration starts in a week and a half. But yeah, Specs, thanks for signing up, and I'm glad we could make this happen.
Yeah, same to you, Drowsy. It was a fun race to come with you. Fun race to watch. It's cool to see this mode in action. And yeah, league will be fun to watch.
Yeah. And meanwhile, what do we have next on the dailies here? Tomorrow at 9 p.m., we are just doing a regular old Open 7-7, so that should be a nice change of pace after this, because then we'll go back to Keys on Friday with a Cross Keys race. So do check out the daily schedule. We try to get a good selection of races in there. And let me check if anything else is on tonight. Nope, that's the last thing for Speed Gaming tonight. So it looks like, as of right now, the next thing is here on Speed Gaming, we will be featuring the ALTTPR Casual Boots Tournament starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I don't know which matches, but they should be good. It's been a fun tournament to watch. My buddy Specs here is one of the mods for that.
Yeah, it's been a great tournament. You know, groups have one more week, and then after that we'll have brackets, which it's gonna be huge brackets. That'll be going on for a while too.
Yeah, you'll have to figure out how to get 88 people whittled down to 64 to start the bracket.
Yes, so there'll be even lots of extra matches this year.
But anyway, I think that'll do it then here. So thank you all for watching and have a great evening.